How did you get here? You can't believe it's happening to you. You probably never thought about homeschooling before, but here you are. You've heard about those crazy, religious, antisocial people homeschooling their kids, but that's not you. After all, the government will always be there to take care of your children, right? Are you feeling a little bit hopeless? The thought of homeschooling seems so daunting. I know. You think that you can't afford to be home, or perhaps you're going to be really afraid that your kids are going to grow up with no social skills. But now, due to COVID-19, aka coronavirus, you may have to be home. And what about your kids' socialization? Oh no, it's even recommended that your kids limit who they contact outside now, so you just can't send them outside to play with other kids. And I know you used to wonder if maybe your family and your friends, how they would feel about you pulling your kids out of school. Would the government come after you? How would you teach math? What if you aren't prepared? And what if your kids aren't prepared for college when you're done? And the larger question exists. Will my kids have more days off that they'll have to make up later? How long could this virus scare go on and the kids aren't in school and I'm not at work? Or what if I have to go to work and the kids still aren't back in school? After the first week, well, they need a break. That's cool. But what am I going to do and have them study in weeks 2, week 3, week 4, and maybe even longer than that? Oh yes, I've been there for some of those questions, but regardless of whether we're talking COVID-19 or any other school tragedy that happens at the school in any given day, my kids, well, we don't miss a beat. Don't believe me? Well, let me tell you a little bit about us and where I may be able to help you right now. We have a family of 6, 4 children that have all been homeschooled. Our oldest did not even register for a school until he was 14 years old, and that was when he began a special program that enabled him to graduate at 16 with a high school diploma and also an associate's degree. Did we make it? I'll give you more on that a little bit later. Now, my kids, well, they learned first from my wife. She taught them how to read and some early education subjects, but after that, Dad, took over. Now, I was responsible for their education while even working full-time at the office, plus with some frequent travel that even led me out of the country. And for the last 4 years, I really tried to focus on setting up my house and my home and my employment to where I can be at home with them and really not only focus on my work, but also focus on their education. And how have my children fared in society after being homeschooled all their lives? Well, let me tell you, because I know you're going to be interested in results. My first son was homeschooled, and he achieved his Bachelor's of Science degree at 20 years old and an internship and a subsequent paying position with the USDA. This allowed him to graduate debt-free. And I don't want him to be like Dad and in debt up to his eyeballs. And then in less than 2 months after graduating, he started a new job, making more money than I did up until my mid-40s. And that really, he actually makes more money than the average American. And that's his first real job, as people say, upon graduating college. And yeah, he received that walking in the door. Now, my first homeschool daughter, well, she achieved her associate's degree at 18 years old. She'll be graduating with her Bachelor of Arts degree right at her 20th birthday and is pursuing a second bachelor's degree in criminal justice. And she's also working, and it looks like she's going to be graduating debt-free. My second son and daughter, well, they're on the right track to follow right in their footsteps. So, what do we consider ourselves? Well, if you want to put a label on us, you can pick one. You can pick, okay, we're a homeschooling family. You can say we're religious, we're multi-ethnic, middle class. You can't really say we belong to any particular political group because I don't support either the Democrats or the Republicans. And you can't label me as really conservative or liberal, so I guess none of those fit. Definitely patriarchal. I am the man of my house. We have a big family. And at the end of the day, really, you can call me and call us whatever you want because I really don't care. And I don't think any of us care. We just do what we do. So you may be wondering, all right, well, maybe they live somewhere special that they can get by homeschooling. Well, not really. You see, we began homeschooling in our house years ago, and we were living in a major city. And to be specific, it was a major black city, Detroit, Michigan. And we later moved into a suburb of that city. And then years later, Only up until a few years ago, we moved out to Arizona. Now, how long have we been homeschooling? Officially since 2004. But as you'll learn more, well, I look at it as I'm always teaching, and their job is to always be learning. But okay, so maybe you're thinking, surely I would be able to do it, and this would be a lot easier now if I probably made a lot of money. You must be making a whole lot of money to be able to do that with your kids and maybe have your wife around at home that can do it. Well, first of all, when we started, and up until recently, we've just been a single income family. I'm not going to pull any punches with you. As I said, I'm in student loan debt up to my eyeballs. And my first full-time job started me at $30,000, and I already had 3 kids. I made $35,000 per year when my son turned 5, and he stayed at home. Ironically, he was already reading pretty well at 5, but I just didn't see any reason to send him to school. And then, bottom line, we had those hard times like Run DMC. But I look at it, it was God's grace that we've always survived. And let me tell you, I have not purchased a new car since 2003. So you make a connection on the commitment that I've had to make to educating them with some things that I was not able to do financially that perhaps you enjoy. Now, why did I decide to homeschool? I'll get into that journey in other videos. But for now, I tell you, once I started, I just never looked back. I wanted my children to have a biblical worldview. I wanted my children to be prepared to take on the world, to have knowledge of who they are and their real history, and not be taught just to go to work on an assembly line. Now, you don't think that's what government school is for? I encourage you to go check out the work by former Teacher of the Year in New York, John Gatto. He'll break it down on really how school was originally designed, if you look back over 100 years ago. I didn't want my children to really be influenced just by the world. I wanted them to influence the world. And you take that, all you socialization folks that thought I just trying to get my kids off the grid. And I'm going to give you many more reasons on why I chose to homeschool my kids as time goes on. Now, if you have any questions, please leave it down in the comments below. I want to be able to deliver the right content for you in upcoming videos, because right now I have a feeling that you need it. You're probably wondering and probably scrambling, how are you going to make it and what your kids are going to do over the upcoming days, weeks, or months. Now, I'm not even going to be the only one contributing to all of this, okay? I'm going to have my other students, and all of my kids range, the 4 kids range from 13 to 20. So they're going to be contributing as well, and you're going to hear some of the good and some of the bad from them, so you know what you're getting into. But I have a question for you. You ready? The government daycare has now been taken away in many states, and more are being added each day because of this outbreak. Or perhaps you're getting tired of your kids anyway, being marginalized in the classroom, being labeled with a learning disability of the year, arrested, bullied, not learning real history, sex suggestions instead of education, which, oh, by the way, you need to be teaching your kids about sex regardless. Other than that, the school wouldn't have to do it in the first place. But that's going to be a topic for another day. And I just wanted to pull them out of the school to prison pipeline. Now, this could be your opportunity to do what you've always wanted to do for so long. Now, you're in the right spot to learn how to bring them home. And we're glad that you took the time to check out this vid. So stay tuned for upcoming videos and upcoming lessons. And I hope that I can help you make this transition to where you can be the leader of your family. And I'm really encouraging men to be able to lead and lead their children and, their wives as well, and bring them home and teach your children your values. Let's use this opportunity while this COVID virus there's mass panic and hysteria. There's a whole lot of preparation going on in the grocery store. There's a whole lot of preparation maybe going on financially. But what preparation are you making for your children? Until next time, I'm Cool Papa, and this is Teach Them Right.